Because we live, bitches.
This theater.
It's alive. It's moving. It's coming this way.
What is up, everybody? It's your boy Brian, back for another episode of the Horror Movie Club. The club where, what do? We talk about horror movies, B. What else would we be talking about? You know what? Let's cut to the chase. Let's bring on my co-host. That's my boy, your boy, everybody's boy, because he's just the shit. Matt Butch Cleaver-Burke. What's up?
What up, everybody? How's it going?
Oh, man, it's like I have my brain back, but I'm like boomering at the controls. What you drinking there, my friend?
I'm just drinking some pale ale, what is it? Rolling Rock. Some ghetto shit. I'm just working on a drawing right here. Nothing too crazy. Just a
nice.
Thanks.
Okay, can you show that again and just like tilt it a little bit so we can see the pencils? You know how it works with like light and cameras and all that and all that shit.
Oh yeah, this is for Hell War.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh
So-
man. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't like actually like really psyched to check that out. And then we got your boy Jeff here. Well, how you doing, Jeff?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Okay, a lot better now that I got the proper psych meds in me.
Nice. Yeah. Hard to get these days, eh?
Yeah, no, there's been like a national shortage on Adderall, which is well, I mean, look. I'm one of those dudes, like, I'm open about my mental illness issues, not because I want to, like, I don't know, not virtue signal, but be like, oh, feel sorry for me or anything like that. I just don't give a fuck. And since I'm in a position where I cannot give a fuck and talk about it, people will sometimes reach out to me and like, hey, dude, like, I think I'm having like some problems. Can you point me in the right direction? Blah 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 blah. So I give zero fucks. And then of course there's also people who the guy not Levi Johnston, fucking Zachary Levi, the guy who plays Captain Marvel. Yeah. In the Shazam movie, he just like came out recently as somebody that's fucked up with a mood disorder. And then of course there's the People's Champion, The Rock, who also came out as being fucked up and mood disordered. So
interesting.
Yeah. We're coming out.
So is a mood disorder considered a broad brush? Or is that a more specific?
No, it's really broad. It covers everything from unipolar depression, which is what I have. Well, I actually have anxiety and depression because the weird fucked up thing about mood disorders is that often like one disorder will kind of piggyback on the back of another. Okay. But then there's like, I mean, I thought I had it bad, but then there's people with bipolar disorder. And what they do is they rubber band. Like they kind of like will go into mania, which is basically feels like you're high on cocaine all the time. Okay. Which is
not all the time, because then there's the crash.
Well, then there's the crash.
Yeah.
And then when they crash like super hard.
Yeah.
And I always thought like maybe this happened over the course of like, months or weeks. It can happen over the course of a day.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Yeah, seriously. There before the grace of God go I. But yeah, everybody in the chat, not to get off on a lecture.
No, not at all.
About mental health, but I always want people to know that if you're having any issues, talk to your boy, hit me up. I can point you in the right direction. And times are tough right now, and a lot of people aren't getting their medications that they need because of supply chain issues. Personally, I think it's because rich people are stockpiling this shit. Also, like the regular stuff that I take, like that I could get very easy. What up, Pops?
Yeah, funny
But-
how you get it so easy.
Right, but then there's the stuff that has like real high street value, and that's the stuff that's hard to get.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. What do you think? It's stuck in the middle. You said, do you think that the upper classmen are taking it?
Yeah.
Or like hoarding it?
That would be my guess. Now, of course, then everybody, Pops Van Sant, who is currently also medicating. Dude, that's seriously, the ganj is like the only thing that got me through like the past like month and a half.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not fucking
I'm telling
fun.
you, it works for everything. Everything.
It really does.
It's like Windex.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Yeah,
Thanks for
everybody,
tuning
thank
in.
you so much for tuning in. We really do appreciate you. Tonight, we are going to be talking about a movie that's a personal favorite of mine. I always am reluctant to say those words because then I think that maybe everybody else on the panel isn't going to be honest about what they thought of the movie because they're afraid that I'm going to get butthurt. So don't ever feel that way, folks. Don't ever feel that way. But it is a personal favorite of mine. I think that a lot of people, unfortunately, a lot of horror fans have been sleeping on Spanish horror.
Right.
And Spanish horror movies need to be discovered the way that Italian horror movies have been discovered.
I already know I didn't watch the right one. I just, every time you say the Spanish version, I'm like, there's no way in hell this thing got funding to be. First of all, if it was Spanish,
there's a dubbed version.
Yeah, no, this is the thing. I'm telling you, I am falling for some sort of joke every time you guys come up with like what we're gonna watch next time, because you said frogs twice.
Oh, we are gonna be watching frogs, but the thing
I win because I already saw it once. I thought that's what we were seeing last time. That's what I watched this time. I'm like,
we were gonna do frogs tonight, but then I had a change of plan because Jason's not going to be available and like Inky and those boys, and it's just like the whole idea is that we want to do a promo stream for Frog G and get those guys some love because I feel terrible that like I haven't had them on yet. And so they were just like, well, what about Thursday? I'm like, okay, we'll do like a special Thursday stream.
And
so you've already seen the movie.
Like that.
yeah, I know. I've seen it so long ago. I've already missed parts.
Yeah,
I've already forgotten parts.
And
then I'm gonna have to watch it again.
Well, here's the thing.
I'm gonna have to watch it again.
Frogs 2, The Return of Frogs.
And well, you know, and hopefully the return of Sam Elliott's mustache too, because that's
every other animal that doesn't. Yes.
That's the most fucked up. That's what's fucked up about that movie is that it's got Sam Elliott in it. Elliott in it.
Yeah.
And he's stashless, which is like fucking fucking Samson with his haircut.
All I can think of is like his.
Maybe the last time he was ever in a movie without his mustache. You might want to look into that, right?
We should like Google Sam Elliott game face.
He's
rated,
check that out.
He's rated 1888 or 1883. The new TV show that Tyler Sheridan. It's a prequel to Yellowstone.
Oh, that looks really good. That looks really good. I just saw the trailer for that. And I haven't watched Yellowstone yet. I saw that trailer and I was like, yo. I was like, I think I need to check this out for sure.
The first like 2 minutes of the show, he's just sitting in the chair crying, right? And he goes up, he walks in there and he finds his daughter. She's just dead in bed. And he picks his daughter up and takes her up to the top stairs to his bedroom. His wife's laying in bed dead. Then he goes downstairs and then he fucking throws a fucking a Molotov into the house. You know what I mean? And lights it on fire. That's in the first 2 minutes. Prior to that, it's a family getting scalped on the open trail. And I was like, all right, this is some Western metal. I'm gonna watch this.
Yeah,
and then the dude, he's about to kill himself, Elliot, and then his buddy comes up. He's like, hey, dude, you better hurry up. The day's gonna be over. So if you're gonna kill yourself, get it over with. We ain't got all day. I was like, damn, it was some times, right?
Oh, without a doubt. It's a lot of people think that's. I'm convinced that's the reason why Earp wasn't afraid of death. Why that motherfucker was so dangerous. Why people were terrified of him when he threw down was because he had lost his, I think, his wife and his daughter to scarlet fever.
Yeah.
And so he gave. So when he basically was just like, okay, well, if you want to come through me, you know, there's that famous incident of the lynch mob that he faced down, and they're like, look, we're gonna be willing to kill you to get to that motherfucker so that we can hang him. He's like, okay, who dies first?
Right.
Yeah, the 3 hour version, which seems to be just something like, you knew Kevin Costner was bound for television at some point because he keeps making 3 hour movies. It's like, if you need more time, the 3 hour version of that movie that gets into like the early part.
Yes.
And like someone was going to kill him over a pool game. Like,
Yeah.
or no, calling a boxing match or something, and he just takes the pool cue and like throws it at the guy that's about to shoot him. He goes, "You're gonna kill me over a game."
Yep.
Yeah, in his throat. You saw that?
Yep.
I got that movie on DVD.
It came out at the exact same time as
Tombstone. It got fucked up by Tombstone, dude. It just eclipsed it.
Tombstone I like better a little bit.
Tombstone's arguably the best Western to most people, you know. And Doc Holliday by Val Kilmer's arguably the best.
Yeah, I know.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, there have been so many. Well, you know what? I don't even think it's an argument at this point. It really isn't. It really isn't. Everybody agrees. Everybody agrees that Val Kilmer's Doc Holliday is like the best
Doc Holliday. He killed it. He killed it for anybody else. Nobody will ever be able to do that.
That's totally true.
Dennis Quaid did a pretty good job. But you know what's funny about Yellowstone? You know what's funny about Yellowstone? I was like, all right, cool. I got Paramount. All right, I'm gonna watch this fucking Tulsa King because I'm a Stallone stan, and I'm gonna get that your boy Zach book eventually that just came out.
Yeah,
I'm a Stallone
just put
stan.
that Tombstone story on the
Yellowstone is the only thing that costs money on the fucking Paramount Network. So you can have everything for free, but you have to pay $2 an episode. They know that people will buy it because it's the biggest show on television.
I haven't started it yet, but I have watched a lot of stuff on YouTube, like the 15 best minutes of this or the collection of those scenes. You know.
Here's the thing I don't understand. Have you folks heard of this word? It's called piracy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't pirate shit, dude. Never have, never will. But that's just me. Like I've always bought shit, and I know a lot of people do, and that's more power to them. I
love physical media, and I prefer physical media.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, do I pirate shit? Yeah, that's why I've always had the policy that if anybody is going to pirate the PDF of my comic, power to them because I need
want them to pirate my shit.
Right. Well, first of all, it gets it out there, but also if I get all butthurt about it, I need to STF you.
Yeah.
Because of all the shit that I've pirated. But so anyway. Werewolf versus a Vampire Woman. The link that I provided, that's in the link below, folks, that you can click on and watch, is the best version of this movie that I could find that you can watch for free. However, it is in Spanglish. So you must click for the English subtitles, although it's not technically the subtitles. So you have to go into the settings and it will automatically translate for you. I highly recommend that you watch that version that's linked below, as opposed to about 100 other versions that are out there, because this movie is public domain. So that means that there's 100,000 different rips, from bad TV station copies.
Yeah,
it's one of those movies.
It's a good argument for regulation.
No, well,
there's a bunch of bad arguments for regulation too.
Yes, absolutely. Anyway, like I was saying, I think a lot of people sleep on Spanish horror, and the guy who was the ambassador, at least this is how I think of him, the ambassador I don't even not so much the ambassador of Spanish horror. I would say the ambassador from the land of horror, from Spain, to the world. I know that makes no. I just spoke a bunch of gibberish. What I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to articulate, is that Paul Naschy is best known as the Spanish Lon Chaney because he was the guy that started the Spanish horror movie boom, and he is its greatest star, and he played pretty much every monster.
That's pretty game.
Frankenstein monster, the Hunchback, although not Quasimodo, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, played the Mummy, you name it, Dracula, you name it, he played it at some point. And it's just very odd seeing him in these films because he's one of those guys that looks like maybe he shouldn't be in front of a camera. He was a weightlifter, actually. And when you see him when you look at the guy, you can tell he's one of those dudes that's like short but like stocky, like Wolverine.
Yeah.
Right.
Slab of meat.
Yeah, with a big barrel chest and everything, right? Like a fucking man's man.
Like Bronson.
Yeah, pretty much.
When Bronson was cut, he wasn't that slab.
He was ripped. No, he didn't have a barrel chest. He didn't have a barrel chest. He was just fucking Bronson was just fucking chiseled out of fucking marble, right? Naschy was a powerlifter, right? So he wasn't a bodybuilder. He was more like an Olympic lifter, and also he had been a circus strongman. He had also been a pulp novel writer.
Okay.
But what he also a bunch of shit, right? Super interesting dude. Super interesting dude.
Rocky wants to say hi, Brian.
Oh yeah, who you got there?
It's Rocky. He's still here.
It's the Rock.
Sad.
Hi, Rock.
Rocky,
you doing okay, Rock?
See, that's all we get out of him now is that little what? What do you got? You got anything? You got anything for us, buddy? Rock. Yeah, he's depressed, dude.
I could tell.
He misses his brother. What's up, dude?
Yeah. People are always like, I'm always like baffled when people are like, I wonder if my dog really loves me. I wonder if my cat really loves me. Yeah, they fucking love you. Just shut up and deal with it. Stop asking questions, right?
You miss your bro.
And sometimes they bark so loud, and they're always like so excited. It's like, oh, I wish you just loved me for the food. Then I wouldn't feel so bad.
Right.
He's sniffing around where I was eating dinner. That's what he's doing.
Shit. Yeah, that's a good way to get a dog's mind off of things. So, Paul Naschy, born Jacinto Molina. That was his birth name. Like I said, was a circus strongman. I think he was a soccer player, but he fucked his leg up, and so he couldn't play soccer anymore. And he was evidently really good, and so that was like devastating to him. Well, actually, I should back up a little. Yes. Yeah, pretty much like a jock.
Like Frazetta.
Yes.
Frazetta was a sportsman too.
Right, or Peter Cushing or somebody like that.
Yep.
Peter Cushing was like a big, doughy guy before he got tuberculosis. Yeah. Evidently was like a soccer hooligan. Well, not a soccer hooligan. He was a gentleman, but he was like built. He was built like a soccer hooligan. Is what I'm playing. He was like a rugby player. So Spain, of course, in the 1940s had an absolutely brutal civil war. And, it was the Republicans versus the fascists. The fascists won. And so he was born into a country that was technically fascist, although people who are serious scholars, like political scholars, say that fascist Spain wasn't really fascist. It was a military dictatorship. It was led by Generalissimo Francisco Franco, and it was a fascist country, but it was a military dictatorship, but it was one of those countries that was like still very lax. It was still very chill, kind of like Yugoslavia was like a Iron Curtain communist country. But it had like nude beaches and softcore pornography and that kind of a thing. In other words, it wasn't like East Germany. So fascist Spain wasn't really. I'm not saying it was a party, and I'm saying it was cool that it was like a military dictatorship. I'm just saying, as far as military dictatorships go, they were pretty chill. But they hadn't really done anything with horror because they weren't that relaxed. Molina wanted to start making horror movies when he was a little kid. He told a story about how, and actually, you know what? That's actually the best place to start with Jacinto Molina, aka Paul Naschy, is his childhood. There was a movie theater by his house, and it was playing Frankenstein versus the Wolfman. And naturally, like any kid, he was just like, oh, that sounds dope. I want to check that out. And his parents refused to take him to see it because they were afraid that he would be scared. So he returned to that theater by himself and asked to be let in. And the people at the theater would not let him into the movie theater, and so he came back every single freaking day until they let him in to see that movie. And it
little Shawshank Redemption there, huh?
Yeah, and it changed his life. It really set the course for the rest of his life. Even though he was a soccer player, then a weightlifter and everything was just eventually was leading him in that direction of making horror movies. Now, the thing with Spanish horror movies was there's a picture of him when he was a pulp novelist, actually, rocking the stash. Oh no, actually, he already has the poster in the back for Assignment Terror, which is like one of 12 movies that he starred in where he plays the same character. That character is Valdemar Daninsky, who is the protagonist of tonight's movie, Werewolf versus the Vampire Woman, aka La Noche de Valpurgis, which is to say, translated is Valpurgisnacht, which is that other night where the wall between worlds grows thin. The night that's not Halloween. Mm-hmm. When with the witches Sabbat and all that stuff. I'm sorry. Somebody's like I'm getting like a lot of like background feedback from somebody. I can't tell who it is. It's just distracting me for some reason. Hold on, check this.
Like actual voices.
It's you, Jeff. It's you, Jeff.
Oh, I just actually unmuted myself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I figured it was my dog chewing on his toy or something.
No. It's just no. I mean, it's just like your mic's a little loud. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, mine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Motherfucker. No, it's all good.
Testing. How's that? Is that better?
Yeah, a little bit. Thanks, brother.
Okay, sure.
There we go. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. So I know I'm going all over the place because wow, this dude played Valdemar Daninsky, the werewolf in tonight's film, 12 times. And what's interesting about these movies is that there's no continuity between any of them. And so it's the same character, although sometimes he's a reincarnated Polish knight, and other ones he's just like a modern aristocrat. I mean, he's always this Larry Talbot figure. Larry Talbot, of course, being the Wolfman that was played by Lon Chaney Jr. in 5 Universal Monster movies. But he was obsessed with this character. And this actually was, I think, his 3rd outing. He had done, I think, La Marca del Lobo. I'm sorry, La Marca del Hombre Lobo, which is to say the mark of the Wolfman. And that's an awesome movie. If you get a chance to see that, look that up. It's also known as Frankenstein's Bloody Terror. The intro to my channel has a lot of footage that's taken from tonight's movie.
I've seen that. Yeah. I was like, oh, this is going hard on that.
Yeah, well, because I mean, I love this movie, and I can't believe that we haven't gotten to it yet. You know what? I'm talking too much. Let me bust the
I love that about this movie, man. Is all the fucking he's always drooling like an immersive, like in a massive amount of just slime coming out of his mouth. You know what I mean? It's dripping like venom, or like this, but in the blood too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. This was the first time you saw a werewolf actually like bite plugs out of people. Do you know what I'm saying? He wouldn't just bite people; he would tear.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And here you see him with like a massive piece of flesh, just like literally hanging from his teeth.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's check out the trailer here. So because I'm trying to sell this to the people in the chat. By the way, everybody in the chat, what up? Thank you so much for tuning in. We do appreciate you. Smack that like button if you feel like it. But let's take a look at the trailer for La Noche de Valpurgis, a.k.a. Werewolf versus the Vampire Woman, a.k.a. Werewolf Shadow, a.k.a. a lot of things. But here, check it out.
A search for an ancient tomb of a witch takes a beautiful young girl on a mission that brings her to a house of madness. She is innocent of the dangers that surround her. The storm that rages outside is an omen of the reign of terror about to begin. A strange tale of the unknown world. A world of fear where the supernatural exists.
That's Patty Shepard, who plays Countess Elizabeth Blatty.
Yeah.
Werewolf Shadow. The full moon of the Walpurgis night brings the vampires from their graves. The early sunrise drives them back to sleep in their tombs. Vampire versus werewolf in a battle to the death. See the werewolf terrorize the countryside.
By the way, look at the quality of this trailer, man. It's fucking pristine. I got you, sucker.
A strange love story.
Sorry about that, folks. Metal.
Blood revives a 400-year-old vampire witch. A strange love story that is destined to end in tragedy. A mad woman seeks revenge from all who come to the Hidden Valley. A policeman finds superstition and ignorance, creating a dead end to his investigation of the village's...
By the way, you notice the J and B in the background?
Yeah.
That's a product placement that was in this wasn't so much a thing in Spanish horror movies, but it was especially a thing in Italian movies and Italian horror films. The J and B flows like a mighty friggin' river.
There's another one.
Mysterious disappearances and deaths. Werewolf Shadow. No one can escape the vampires. Nothing can stop them. See the deadly curse.
Bucks.
That's what I thought.
That's Fuchs to you,
Yeah.
sir.
She's the mother of the dude that died in the thing.
Werewolf Shadow. The full moon gives power to the living dead. A beautiful young girl destroyed by evil forces. A stolen moment of love before death is to strike. A co-production of Hi-Fi Stereo and Plata Films. See vampires kill in their quest for blood. Blood, the essence of the living dead. See this film, if you dare.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. She caught it right in the balloon. See this one poster here. It says the blood flows like vintage Merlot. That's how you know it's Spain.
Yeah, man. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at some of the art for this, because I always got to do that. I always got to check out the different movie posters, the fan art. My goodness, man,
that's the best, man.
I always love the fan posters, especially.
Me too. The fan art. That's my favorite part, man.
Me too. Now, I wouldn't say that this is the best of the Naschy movies, or necessarily even the best of the. Would I say? Well, no, actually, I would say it's definitely the best of the Waldemar Daninsky movies. Like I said, there are 12 of them.
Schneider,
technically,
that's a lot.
That's a lot. It's a lot, right? There are. Here's what I would say. I would say that there's Spanish horror films that are made that are better than this. I would say that there are Paul Naschy films that are made better than this, but there's something special about this one. And I'm not the only one who feels that way.
What I was gonna say about this movie, like in a lot of the movies you show me, they create a world. You know what I mean? And it goes beyond entertaining. Like for me, it's like I want to be transported to another world. Like the entertainment factor is gonna come with that. But even for comic books and movies and games, like take me to another world. Even if your book sucks, your movie sucks, take me to a fucking world. You know what I mean?
Right.
Take me out of this one. And that one, this movie really creates a world that you can step into. You know, and it's gothic, and it's got everything that I want in it. You know what I mean? You don't get the big juicy like showdown till the end of the movie. It's kind of like you know, a lot of the movies we like, they save everything to the end. You know, the beat down. You know, but it's cool. You know, look at that one.
It opens really strong, and then it kind of slows down a little bit. Not that it's ever like boring, and then it just like it just takes off.
It's hypnotic in certain parts too, especially when the vampirist comes in.
Oh my god! Oh yeah, that's right. She's not Elizabeth Bathory. She's basically you know Countess Bathory, but her name is Fondessa in this.
That makes sense.
So she's Countess Fondessa. You know, but and you know the plot involves these two chicks who are college girls, and they're going to this remote town in Germany to find information about her, right? Because I think they're like history students or something like that. And Gabby Fuchs's character is like obsessed with her. And so, of course, what do? They stumble across her body, accidentally resurrect her. But before that happens, they run into Valdemar Daninsky, the Wolfman. And this very much takes its opening from Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman. How many of you guys have seen that?
I've seen it a long time ago. It's been I have to go back and rewatch it. It's literally been at least 25 years since I've seen it. So I'd have to go.
I'm an uncultured swine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen that one and Abbott and Costello Meet the Wolfman. Those are like the two I used to watch.
Shit.
So it's gonna be like watching a new movie. It's like saying, "Oh, I drove to Arkansas when I was 4 years old." I have no idea. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Dude, I'm glad that you enjoyed this.
I love these movies like the Spanish and the Italian ones you show. They're really immersive, man. That's why I'm always like, oh, what do you got? You know, like some of them
take you to another world.
Yeah, and they stick with you a little bit. And I love the settings in here too. The castles, and it kind of reminded me of a Hellboy a little bit. Some of the stuff that Mignola does. You know what I mean? Really, in the catacombs.
Yeah, well, the locations in these movies are fantastic because although Spain had like a really bad, brutal civil war. Most people would be familiar with it from Pan's Labyrinth. If you've seen Pan's Labyrinth, that's set in Spain during the Spanish Civil War. But it's not like they were in like World War II. It's not like they were getting bombed, is what I'm saying. A lot of their beautiful historical structures and stuff are intact. Beautiful castles and stuff. Anyway, the way that Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman opens is that there are these thieves, these grave robbers who break into Larry Talbot's tomb, and they open his casket, and he find his body in there, and it hasn't decayed at all. And there's like wolfsbane, like that have been buried with him, right? Yeah. And then the moon hits him, and that reanimates him.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Right? Because it hadn't occurred to... Well, actually, the real reason they didn't bring back Lugosi as Dracula was because they just hated Lugosi, because Lugosi was a fucking pain in the ass to work with. And it pretty much destroyed his own career. But when this opens, like I said, it opens as if it's, picking up from where where like a previous movie would have left off. Right? Like one of the Universal Monster movies. But like I said, there's no continuity in these,
right?
But it behaves as though there is. So you've got these guys. Yep. So it's you've got these fellows who are doing a autopsy, And I just love this too. The opening is so great because the doctor is completely mocking the notion that this guy was a werewolf. Right? He's just like, it's like this guy's a werewolf and everything, and whatever. His name was Waldemar Daniński, a Polish count, I think. I don't know. It changes from movie to movie. Right? So he's mocking the idea of werewolves, silver bullets, all that folk nonsense. And then, of course, this guy who's local is like, hey, I don't think you really should be mocking those things. There's more to heaven and earth than are dreamt of in your philosophies. This guy's just like, yeah, whatever. And he's pulling silver bullets out of him. And then the moon strikes. And such a great moment. I just love it when suddenly that hairy hand just lands on his shoulder.
It's like, oh, man, you're done.
Yeah, it's just like... And to me, that's always been part of the appeal of horror as a genre, right? You have this character who is basically representing us in the everyday world. And then suddenly there's a supernatural element that comes in and just completely takes your world and just completely just turns it upside down. Of course, he pretty much gets his ass turned upside down, as this fellow does, and Waldemar Daniński is back, and he is on the prowl. The makeup here isn't the best of the series, but it's still pretty good, I think.
Yeah, I kind of liked it. I mean, yeah, I liked it a lot. It's a good shot.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Now, like I said, he had played this character twice before, once in Mark of the Werewolf, which is awesome, then in Fury of the Wolfman, which is an utter piece of shit. Don't watch it. The director evidently was a drunk and handed the script rewriting duties to his 14-year-old nephew. So for this movie, Naschy was looking for somebody that was going to hopefully do a better job. And he found what he was looking for in Leon Klimovsky. And Leon Klimovsky was an art house director from Argentina. And this was the first movie that they did together. And I think they ended up doing like 5 or 6 more. They got along very well. And the movies are, I have to say, I think the best Paul Naschy movies are the ones that were directed by Klimovsky. And there's something that you don't get in like the American dubbed version of this that you really get very, very strongly in the Spanish language version, which is that this is very much a movie that has a handmade feel to it.
Definitely.
And even though it's played completely straight, but it's played completely straight because the filmmaker understands it's more fun that way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I was gonna say too, when the vampire comes on screen, they time the fog machine like perfectly, man. It sets like a really good tone, especially when she's like biting people and stuff.
That's a great shot right there.
It like gets right to her, like it lands right on there, and just the head kind of flops into the basket or on the floor.
There's really creative filmmaking. This is really creative filmmaking. There's a lot of like neat little tricks that Klimovsky does in this that just give this movie like an added charm, I think. And I think that's why it's like the most beloved in the series.
It's just kind of weird. Like they just kind of stumble like. I have to go back and watch it again, but they got car trouble when he basically invites him to his house for like the weekend, right?
Yep.
And his sister is the vampire, right? Is that correct?
No. His sister is just his sister, and she's mentally ill, and she becomes actually one of Van Das's victims. There's Naschy, looking very tormented. He really had a special affection for this character. I think that he played him in like 10. Was it 12? I think it may have been more like 10 actually. But either way, he played this character at least 10 times. and the character was very much kind of an extension of himself. He was somebody, I don't know if it was that he was haunted in any respect. Evidently, he was very happily married. His wife came from like a upper class family, and at first they highly disapproved of the fact that he was just like this, working class weightlifter guy. But eventually, he won them over. And actually, I don't know how many kids they had, but I recently on my Substack I dropped an essay that I'm doing in like 3 or 4 parts on Naschy, and his son Sergio actually like gave it the thumbs up. So that was kind of cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. He's he has a Twitter presence, and you know what? I need to talk to him because I would kill to do a Valdemar Daninsky comic book.
So he's still around?
Oh, yeah. Naschy?
Yeah.
No, he passed away from cancer, I think, about 10 years, 15 years ago.
So you're referring to his son then on Twitter, right?
Yeah. We're referring to his son, Sergio Molina.
And the Count, so when he woke up, like when they found him, he's still the Count. It's not like a job title or someone's like life he's stepping into, kind of like Lamont Cranston or something like that. You know what I mean? That's who he was the whole time. He was the Count.
Evidently, I guess after he got up off that slab and wolfed out, he went home.
Okay. And this is the first movie, right, of that character?
No, this is the third.
The third one. Okay, and he's been the Count in every single movie, right?
Yes.
That's pretty awesome, dude. Because usually the Count, is a vampire. You know what I mean? It's not like a werewolf. You know what I mean?
It's interesting. He's Polish, and it's rare that you would have a Polish aristocrat in a movie because the Nazis killed them all. Let's see. I'm actually going to do a quick check here because now it's driving me freaking crazy as to how many movies. Okay, he played the character in 12 movies.
Damn.
Not in order. The Beast and the Magic Sword. That's a movie that he made in Japan because Japan evidently really loved his movies. And it's considered by many to be actually his best movie and the best of the Valdemar Daninsky films. And he wanted to do more, but then he couldn't go back to Japan because the Yakuza wanted to use him to move weapons. They were like, "Hey, can you get us any guns?" And he was just like, "Yeah, sure," and got the hell out of the country and never came back.
No shit. See you later, bye type shit.
Yep. Dr. Jekyll versus the Wolfman. That's a really, really good one because that's got a completely insane plot where Valdemar tries to get cured by the grandson of Dr. Jekyll.
Mm.
And the way that the doctor is trying to cure him is by injecting him with the Hyde formula.
Wow.
So he doesn't turn into a werewolf. He turns into Mr. Hyde, but then he turns back into Valdemar Daninsky. But then it gets out of control, and he just starts turning into Hyde. And at the drop of a hat, and then he could, while he's Hyde, he could turn into the Wolfman. It's a lot better than it sounds. It's actually pretty clever, I thought. But yeah, of course, you know what, folks? If you see if you're on a field trip and you find a skeleton with a silver dagger thrust into its heart, don't fuck with that shit. Just leave that be. So, of course, she has to yank that sucker out, cuts herself, bleeds on the skeleton, and look at these runes, dude. Aren't those beautiful?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I liked about this, man. It helps really set the world that you know what I mean, it takes you there. And then she's talking about the catacombs, like he's like, "Oh, we'll get lost in there." I remember she was saying something about that, going back and searching. He's like, "It's too vast. We can't go through there." I'm like, "Oh, damn, that's cool." That means that there's like probably some lore and a massive castle that you could explore. You know what I mean? I'm really into like big castles and stuff and stories.
Yeah, me too.
Video
Gothic
games
shit,
like that.
dude.
Like Castlevania, some of them.
Yeah. And these were very much inspired by the Hammer horror movies. But then you have then you mentioned it's just like he's just like, yeah, these catacombs go on forever. It really does create that illusion in your mind, doesn't it?
Yeah, it makes it even that much more epic. Hate to use that word epic, but sometimes it's a good way to describe something that's cool and massive
and epic.
Yep,
and epic.
And epic, it has to deal with like. Do you guys know what an epic is?
An epic? Well, you mean like an epic poem?
Like literature?
Yeah, like the definition of it. Do you know what it is?
No.
It's like the beginning of some. It's the middle of a big story. That's what the definition was for a while. I don't know if they changed it now because of modern
the way words keep changing.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be like Empire Strikes Back is an epic. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like a middle story that's big. Like you have to be in the middle of the story for it to be an epic. And it has to be big and something going on. So.
And that's always. Well, yeah. I mean, you could consider it that he actually did a full remake of this.
Oh, really?
Which is called The Retorno del Hombre Lobo, also known as Night of the Werewolf, and it's awesome. The special effects are way better. The sets, the production value, everything way better. The filmmaking better, but this is just the better movie. And I once again, I think that this is just one of those horror films where the horror fairy just kind of like flew by and just sprinkled its like special magic pixie dust on it.
And a little bit dust for you, a little bit more dust for you, a little bit more dust for you.
Pops, what did you think of Werewolf versus the Vampire Woman? Did you watch this?
Brian, you know the kind of weekend that I had. I had CromCon. I had.
That's right, you did, didn't you?
Thanksgiving, kids, passings. Oh, I didn't really have time to watch anymore.
That's all cool. That's all.
I will catch up with it though, because it looks funny. And you know me, I like my horror movies to be entertaining and comedic.
I wouldn't say that this is comedic, but it has an atmosphere. Yeah, but what I'm saying is that this movie has an atmosphere of fun to it.
Well, that's perfect. I love the way that dude stuck the knife in her neck and shit in that trailer. That was like, Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I can
get behind this.
All of the special effects and everything. They're like I said, they're really clever and they have like a real charm to them.
Yeah, definitely.
There
She's
she is.
Cute.
Yeah, that's Patty Shepard as
right there.
Countess Vandessa. Yeah, who is? Of course, when I talk about like the simplicity and the charm of the special effects in this, at the climax, the devil himself shows up. But you don't see him. He's just represented by like a shadow on the wall.
The devil you know, or the devil you know better?
I'm talking about the devil, with the horns and the pitchfork and the
devil you know better,
and the red pajamas.
Mr. Mephistopheles, you may be the king of the underworld, but in this courtroom, I'm the judge. I don't remember how that goes, but John Lovett is Mr. Mephistopheles.
Mr. Mephistopheles.
I always prefer Peter Fonda in Ghost Rider. Sorry, movie's kind of cheesy, but
I
liked it.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all right.
More Sam Elliott.
Yeah, Sam Elliott's tight as fuck in there. Looks like Butch Lever a little bit.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, he does. But let's. What was I gonna say? But
he was a shadow. Was the shadow? Because I didn't see it. Was the shadow like distinct? Like you could tell it was him, or was it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was like a shadow that was clearly a shadow puppet.
Okay, so like horns, wings, tail, pitchfork type.
Kind of like that.
Okay.
Kind of like that, I would say. That would, yeah.
And that was the depictions of the devil have always been like Matt was saying, like the one in Ghost Rider, it's a little bit more identifiable. I like different like depictions of the devil, like when it's really smart. Shadow's a great way to go though, because it's it's only 2-dimensional. Actually, it's 1-dimensional when you think, well, 2-dimensional, and you can kind of like, fill in with, what you think it looks like. What color is he? Is he shiny and gooey, or,
Is he hideous? Is he charming?
Does he have a skin condition?
Is this the medieval Satan that we're talking about? Is this like a modern version? Right. Yeah.
But as soon as you start adding color and form, it's, like there was this one movie I saw with, and I can't remember, I think Donald Pleasance was in it. There was some sort of capsule with some green fluid floating around at the bottom.
John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness.
Prince of Darkness. And then there's like a rubber glove coming out of a pool of mercury, and like,
Markov failed you.
Yeah. I love that.
The glove? I liked the roaches, but I thought the glove was like, because at that point, I can never remember how much something like holds up. Like the thing holds up.
Oh man, very well. But that's the case with Carpenter's movies. They just age beautifully.
Yeah.
And speaking of aging beautifully, I just think that this movie's aged really beautifully. For those of you who haven't seen it, definitely, like I said, link is in the description below. That's the version that you want to watch. There's a 4K Blu-ray that just came out that I can't afford right now. But that next time I have the disposable income, I'm going to be all over like white on rice. The thing about these movies, too, is that they were never on TV when I was a kid. So I discovered these movies when I was in my 20s.
Mm-hmm.
And this was back in the VHS days where the only way that you could see these movies was on like VHS tapes that were ripped from like Japanese laser discs.
This movie was pretty popular too. I think they used one of the images, like the one that we have in the intro, for Monster Squad. I think the Monster Squad had a poster of him or one of them in their treehouse. They also had like the Circus of the Vampire. What was that one? Vampire Circus? That
Vampire Circus. Yeah,
that was pretty crazy too. It had Darth Vader in it.
Yeah. We did that on the stream. I think like a year ago or something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
We've been going for about a year now, huh?
Yeah, man. And consistently haven't missed a week. And
Brian's been going nonstop.
Well, not just me. Couldn't do this without you and Pops.
Well, I haven't been here all the time. Sometimes, I can't do it. The kids and stuff like that. But
but family comes first, yo.
I've only been hanging out with you guys on this show particularly for a couple months. Right away, everybody was like, "Pops, you need to get that one on your network." Oh. So I did. The guys from Steel Token and Leo and the Dorkening and those guys were like, "Man,
the Dorkening is awesome."
On the networks.
The Dorkening.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, Leo, those guys at the Dorkening.
Oh yeah, you need to check them out, dude. If you haven't checked out the Dorkening. Those dudes do the shit.
Check them out.
Shitbird militia. What the fuck?
I'm getting the next week on Tuesday. Whatchamacallit? Luther Storm's coming on my show.
Nice.
Lucifer. Oh, dude, Lucifer.
Oh, yeah.
Lucifer is the easiest interview you'll ever do, Matt.
Yeah.
You say hi, everybody, and he takes over.
That's awesome.
Takes over, bro.
You can just kick back and relax, huh?
Yeah. He is the easiest interview you'll ever do.
I got to read the Ed Gein book still. I haven't read it yet.
Dude, I'm jonesing to check that out
but I'm waiting to get. I kind of want to wait till I get 3 and 4 before I dig into it. Because I was gonna read it and then do a review and then have them on, but I'm like, nah, I'm gonna wait. Shit. I'm gonna have them on and talk, and then I'm gonna fucking read the book probably in about a year or something like that.
Demon Hunter.
I already got 1 and 2 though. I love the art, the premise.
It's a comic book.
Sounds interesting.
Hold up.
The guy's a brilliant writer too. So, hold on.
So they put a positive spin on this guy, or give him a reason for like.
It's understood.
Correct.
He wasn't up to what you thought he was up to. He was up to something else.
He wasn't killing people. He was killing demons in people.
Well,
no. Don't, hold up. Don't start just suppositioning. Just watch Lucifer tell you what it is.
Okay.
The devil sends Ed Gein after an escaped demon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
cool.
Sends Ed Gein back to Earth to go after an escaped demon.
Okay, a little bit of a. Okay, I don't want to compare.
I don't want to spoil it.
I get it.
I know.
Yeah,
it's not what you think it is.
It's a story based on a real person, but it's not his story.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
It's
So
a fictional story.
So he did exactly what I always wanted to do with John Holmes, right? Where like John Holmes would be like sent from hell to bring back like an escaped soul or something. Except once he gets back here, instead of like actually going after the guy he's supposed to go after, he just like returns to porn and just like starts hoovering up like
what would have
massive
happened
amounts
if
of cocaine.
That's what would have happened if he'd have sent like Gacy or somebody. If he'd have sent like Gacy or somebody, they just would have went right back to killing him.
Exactly.
Right?
Bundy especially.
You see what I'm saying? But Ed Gein has like that weird mom thing going on.
Yeah, that fetish.
You see, it was like, I'm going to send him. And he does send a little watchdog with him, too. It's a great story.
That's good.
Christian Rossi art.
Horror. It's hardcore. It's outlaw comics,
I was
gonna say H.H. Holmes though. Everyone's talking about him, but they're not messing with them. You know what I mean?
Isn't that interesting?
And if I had more time, I would crack a story out with him. I'd make him a villain. I could. There's a multitude of that guy is a wellspring of multimedia that has not been cracked yet. He makes everyone look like a choir boy as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, he does. I mean, it's interesting when you consider that Ed Gein was the inspiration for so many fictional characters, like really, really, really famous fictional characters, like Norman Bates, Leatherface. You know what I'm saying? Like these really iconic characters.
I always thought that they were like conglomerations of like Ed Gein and another guy, or who is the other guy?
I mean, they're different. But they were both inspired by Ed Gein. And mind you, the Norman Bates that's in the Hitchcock movie isn't the Norman Bates that's in the Robert Bloch novel.
Okay.
They're actually. I mean, there are similarities, but Norman in Psycho is actually really kind of charming. Like there was, he has like this aw shucks kind of farm boy. Aspect to him, whereas in the novel, he's like morbidly obese and everything. A little bit more of a bruiser.
Yeah. Ooh, that's even scarier, bro. I mean, it's kind of like the Vince Vaughn version where he's. I mean, in that version, hate it or like it, it's a different one. He's taller. He's more lumbering. He's 6'5". Because I'm watching him in a drag or a brawl right now. They're taking it off Tubi tomorrow, so I'm right through half.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. So he's just lumbering around, I'm just seeing, and there's a scene in that Psycho movie with Viggo Mortensen. He's running around and he's just all big, scary with a long white hair. You know what I mean? There's different takes on that. But now you're telling me there was a fat Norman Bates. That's scary too. That's even scarier. Imagine the fat lady like killing you in the shower. Like that's just like a scary image.
Yeah, it's creepier because there's something also in Psycho where you get the feeling that there's something almost sexy about him from like a woman's standpoint, right? Like he's like the least threatening, not just like unthreatening, but he's got like this aw shucks farm boy thing that what's her face?
Jimmy Curtis's mom. I forget her name.
Yes. You can tell that she's kind of drawn to him a little bit.
Yeah.
Right?
He's not an alpha male. He's not a beta male because beta males don't.
He's a sigma male. He's the sigma male.
He's some other kind of male.
Yes. By the way, guys, I've been trying to open this up, but I'm boomering it. I dropped a link in the private chat. If one of you could open it up, I want to take a look at a campaign that's funding that is almost there. That has like a really modest goal. It's called. You got it. All right. It's called The Last Thanksgiving. I want everybody to go check this out. They have 31 hours left, and they have got $480 to go.
How many? I wonder on their first.
Looks like they've only got
first 30. Are they on their first 30 right now, or are they on their second 30?
I think they're on their second. I think they're on their second.
I think they've got $480 overall. Yes. And they're on the way to 2,000.
2K goal, totally doable. Very, very, very modest goal. Let's take a quick look at the trailer real quick.
I can do that. Hold on.
Man, I can't talk tonight. What the fuck is wrong with me? Is that John Carpenter as fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, the opening music was telling.
Yeah, so I was talking to Julius Freeman the other day on the 656 stream, Domingazos, and he wrote the script for this. And basically, this 2K is to get a kind of proof of concept. That's to say, it's going to enable the director here to shoot some footage and use that hopefully to get the rest of the film funded, possibly by Shudder. And evidently, he knows some folks there. Right now, there is definitely a demand for 80s style slasher horror. Terrifier 2 made $10 million.
Anything that'll take me back from present day, I'm good for.
Right. Yeah, I think there's
annihilate it.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I mean, look, the whole 80s nostalgia thing, which is probably, I would say, reached its peak in Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's a couple of Blender tutorials about how to that's actually, it's relevant. I mean, I'm seeing it pop up like, do something like Stranger Things, or here's this thing that's like Stranger Things. Stranger Things is like the 80s, so it's leaking out all over the place.
Before Stranger Things came out, me and my buddy were making a video game.
Dead.
Oh, seriously?
I got something that's like The Walking Dead. It's like The Walking Dead.
The Talking Dead.
It's The Toking Dead.
The Toking Dead.
The Toking Dead.
There is a pot zombie movie. It's called Toxic Zombies.
Have you seen the rest of these, Brian? I got the rest of them now.
No.
It's number 2. Now, these are the original ones before Dickhead sued them. The Toking Dead, right? What? Okay, so I got some of the original Toking Dead books before they had to change the title to Toking with the Dead.
What? Dude. Who the fuck's was it Robert Kirkman? Was it AMC?
Yeah. Kirkman.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Lame.
That's fucking lame as
Look at
fuck.
He ripped so much shit from Dead World. Like, it ain't even funny.
He ripped so much shit for.
Bill Diamond is the director. These are all done also in like episodic live action.
Oh, right? You were telling me about this. Yeah. Well, you know what?
Bill Diamond's the one that directed them.
Wow, that's horrible.
Robert Kirkman could suck a fucking wheelbarrow full of fucking dicks.
Kirkman pissed me off with that one because these guys are cool as hell, man.
Satire too. It's protected. He had no fucking case.
It's
not only that, he didn't create. He didn't do shit.
But see, this is the problem. It's not that you can't beat him.
No shit. He fucking ripped off George Romero.
Yeah, Romero in the fucking Dead World.
Beat him in court. You can't afford to beat him in court.
Exactly. I was just about to say. That's the bitch-made move right there.
Yeah, it's kind of like farting in church. I mean, nobody wants to. Like, everybody just moves away from what happened because it's easier than pointing and making a big stink out of it.
It's a Disney move.
It's a mad lame, bro.
Yeah.
It's like a Disney move. Disney does that sort of shit all the time. There was a guy who had a movie that came out. This is like, I guess maybe about like 15, 20 years ago. That was supposed to be called Monster. And he gets a cease and desist from Disney
And they're like, no, you can't call it that because we have Monsters Incorporated coming out.
Yeah, they're the worst, dude.
And he was like, well, but my movie's called Monster. Yours is called Monsters Incorporated. And they're like, yeah, well, we don't want there to be any confusion.
They're the worst. Go watch Kimba.
That make a better movie.
So
those guys are also, Ryan, those guys are also our partners in the network. The Still Toking with the Dead, the Still Toking comics, and the Dorkening. Those are the guys we're hanging out with and merging this giant to build this giant thing. So that's why I got their banner going across there. If you want to check them out, maybe pick up them books. They're only like $5 a piece, man, and they're good.
That's a good price.
Yeah, check that shit out, people.
Entertaining.
Does anybody,
funny as hell, man.
Does anybody remember tort reform? The term tort reform?
Sounds familiar.
I think it's like
no with it. I have no idea what it means.
I thought it had something to do with like when you sue somebody, if you're going to be the one that makes the claim, then you have to be the one that's willing to risk paying for everything.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna take years too.
You know what I mean? So like if this guy, like Disney decides to bring it and they lose based on what the judge who isn't being paid off, then Disney has to take it in the ass and pay for all the court costs, including the guy who won. Yeah, well, I thought that's what tort reform was, and I think that should be like, all right, you got a problem with what I'm doing, then let's go to court, and we'll bring our cases, and then you can pay if you lose.
Right, and then if I win, now you have to reimburse me for all the fucking money I spent. So you can't just
it would be one of those things that you don't actually pay. I mean, it would be like getting your coffee before you pay for it. You have the court, then you pay. It's like the lawyer's got a meter that's running, but you don't pay for it until the court's over.
They can drag it out. The guy with the money can drag this shit out for years. And you can't pay a lawyer to represent you for years.
Now you're done. There's no reason. Yeah, just
that's why this
what happened to your boy Zach? You know what I mean? I mean, that's what happened. It would have kept going. Love him, hate him, fuck him, fight him, whatever. It's the same thing that happened.
Well,
he drug it out, and they would have kept continuing to drag it out. You know what I mean?
But here's the thing. It wasn't just about him. People were giving him money. Not just for himself.
People
but
are mad about that. For the movement or whatever. We're mad about it.
He should have given. He should have given the money back. I think. In that case.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know.
Because it was all about the legal precedent, right?
Yeah.
It was all. It wasn't. That's why people were giving him money. It was
for the fight.
Right. Not just because it wasn't just about him. It was about all of us. And it's just like, well, because if they could do this to him, they could do it to us for sure.
Anybody.
Yeah. And so,
he did fuck him up a little bit, though. I give him that. He did fuck him up a little bit. That guy,
he did.
He didn't. They're not suing anybody anymore. I don't really see him suing anybody anymore.
And Mark Wade, talk about bitch
made. Fuck.
Were we talking about bitch made?
Oh yeah, right. I was gonna say we should get Julius on here, dude.
Being. What was that?
Oh yeah, we should get Julius on here.
I tried to. He refused because he's a. No, I'm lying. No, right. He wanted to come on tonight, but I think he had some family stuff, and so I was like, okay, dude. If you can't come on, that's cool. We will still pimp your shit. And
you got a book too.
Yes, he does.
Maybe later on down the line. I already got a movie in my mind for that. That'll be perfect. But I mean, there's a bunch we could do. It's a female antagonist. It's like Under Siege, but with a female antagonist fighting, like, I think, human traffickers.
Oh, I'm down for that.
Whooping ass with 2 knives. So I mean, I already got a couple in my head, but we should hit him up. He's a good guy.
Most definitely. I am definitely down for that. And like I said, folks, this has $480 that it's accumulated, but it also has a very modest goal. That's $2K, 31 hours left. So if you can't back it, because you're a broke ass bitch like me, you can at least share the link on the Facebooks and the Twitter. That's all I'm saying.
And it's right there. You can copy it, paste it, drop it wherever you want. That's how you do it. You copy it, you paste it, you drop it wherever you want.
And share that shit out. Without a doubt, man. Without a doubt. So let's see. Any final words about Werewolf versus the Vampire Woman. I mean, I could probably talk about this movie like forever, but I'm like, I don't know for some
Hey
reason.
man, do you think there might be people who would be offended if I was like, cleaning my weed on like their flyer?
Well, people get offended for anything nowadays. So.
Oh, dude, yeah. I was in a friend's house a while back, and he had the copy of the 6-gun trade paperback. Just like hanging out, like lying on his floor, and I was like, "Really, dude?" I was like, "Right?" And I was just like, I was just like, "Really? Just put my shit on the floor like that?" Clear side of disrespect. I was busting his balls, right? I was being a dick, right? Next time I come back, he's got it on the shelf. He makes a point. Say, "See, it's on the shelf." I was like, "Dude, I was busting your balls."
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? The fucking right reaction, if I'd been serious, would have been a fucking bitch slap me.
You bought it. You get to do whatever you want with it now.
Right?
No,
he Thank you for buying it. Do whatever you want.
It was a gift. It was a gift. He disrespected it by seriously, man.
The real problem is there are people that would be butthurt about that.
I know. And
it's like
they're basic bitches. They're basic bitches.
Books, yo.
Yes. You can roll that shit up and stick it in the back of your fucking pocket, and that would make me happy as shit.
Hey, you bought it. That's all I care about. Now it's up to you what you do with it. It's yours. You own it. It's some paper with some ink on it.
Right.
It's yours now.
It's nothing precious, is what I'm saying, right? But
so what is it about this movie in particular that you like the most? Is it the werewolf, the vampire, the conflict, the location, the director, the story?
It's the whole package, really, right?
Yeah.
I think this whole movie is just really, really well made. I think that you've got the cool locations. Some of the acting is good. Some of it's a little questionable. Mm-hmm. I love the scenes, especially with Vandessa when she comes back. How she seems to sort of move around in this kind of like this dream world that she carries around with her. Right? There's that wonderful scene where God, let me get the name of the character right, where the female protagonist falls asleep, and in her dream, Vandessa and her friend, who have been vampirized, come into the room, and in slow motion with the with the mist and everything,
mm-hmm.
and they stab her in the throat and bleed her into like this golden goblet,
mm-hmm.
and then they throw it aside with like this decadent gesture, and then they hold hands and they start spinning around like schoolgirls laughing.
Interesting.
Are moments in this movie that are sublime, that are really that put you in a world, in a place that is, for lack of a better word, enchanting. It's dark fairy tale stuff is what it is. And the horror film, of course, is the direct descendant of the Grimm's fairy tale, after all.
Yeah. That show was pretty interesting. Just not to go off the path.
No. We were all about digressions here.
We go off the path in this show. That's what we do.
Yeah. That's what we do.
I think it's called Grimm, brother. Where the guy's like,
there you go.
He's in like the Pacific Northwest. He's like a detective or something.
Pacific Northwest detective. That's a little broad.
Well, I mean, but it's about like werewolves. And it's like fairy tale stuff. Like Grimm. I think it's called Grimm. Like he's
the TV
like
show Grimm.
Yeah.
TV show Grimm. Yeah. I love the concept. I love the concept of that show and the design of the creatures. But whenever they
where the werewolf is vegan or something.
Whenever they turn on that show, the design, they go full CGI on the effects on the face. I'm like, why do you do that? It pisses me off. I kept trying to watch it. It's the same. It's the Morbius thing. They were going full Morbius before Morbius even came out. Where you CGI the face. I'm like, don't CGI the face. Just put a stupid rubber mask on with, you know what I mean? It looks so much better. The human eye will think it's real, and I'll enjoy it more. You know,
right? Remember that movie that we did, that Jason Momoa movie, Wolves, which is more Werewolf by Night than the actual Werewolf by Night movie.
People are like, dude, I love that movie, or dude, what? I gotta watch that movie, dude. I'm like, check it out.
I know.
Check it out, bro. It is Werewolf by Night. It's really good.
It is. And remember, nothing but practical makeup effects in that, and the makeup effects are fucking dope.
Fucking dope. Like I put that one and Joe Johnson's The Wolfman together. They're fucking
spiritual
both
cousins.
Cool. Yeah, yes. Like they could be like in the same universe almost, but like 100 years apart.
Well, they're werewolf movies that are made by people that actually like werewolf movies,
and they're plugged up. You know what I mean?
Yes, and they're plugged up. Exactly.
All plugged out.
Yeah. Because for those of you that don't know your werewolf terminology, there are 3 basic types of werewolves. There is the pug, which is your basic wolfman, which we have in this movie, and then you have the wily coyote, as I call them, which are the the kind that you see in the Howling, you know, with the really big ears and the snout, the bipedal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then of course you have the 4-legged variety that are from folklore, right?
American Werewolf in London.
Right, which is a incredible werewolf design, because the way I always imagined werewolves, if werewolves actually existed, it would be like you'd catch it in your eye, it's kind of like I don't know if you guys have ever seen a coyote before, but
where their shoulders are closer together, aren't they? Like anatomically.
But your brain, when you see them, because like they're very shy. Like I've only caught glimpses of coyote. I've never had a chance to check them out like I have some other animals.
They're right, bro. They're everywhere.
Right. And what happens in your brain, or at least what happens in my brain, is this: dog. That's not a dog.
Fuck.
Right?
Yeah.
No, that's not a dog.
Oh fuck.
And right. So I always thought a werewolf would be like, wolf. That's not a wolf. Right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, you've got the bear, which is like the silver bullet.
Yeah, he's a bear. Yeah, that fool's looking for some honey, bro.
Yeah.
Fool's pooed up. Brian, before I forget,
yes,
we need, before we die, let's do a werewolf book where we put all these motherfuckers together in one book. We'll put them on a team, or we can make them fight. You know what I mean?
You think there'd be like a cast? You think there'd be like a caste system?
Yes, you got you can have that, a hierarchy and everything. You start out as a quadruped, then you move up to like or you move up to bipedal, then you move up to pug, and then you're just like human.
That's what that's something that I always wanted to do. I literally have like 3 or 4 werewolf stories in me and growing, because I still haven't got the first one.
Me too.
Well, what do you think about like different werewolf transformations? I mean, normally you'll see like hair growing out of somebody, but I think I might have seen like werewolf transformation that involves like the werewolf coming out, like
bring them all,
like busting out.
Love them all.
They're all
so
good,
it's almost like
just different styles.
It's like hyper molting.
Right.
Like, what you gonna bring? What you gonna bring to the table of the transformation scenes? You know what I mean? Brother, what is it? The wolf of the wolf.
Company of Wolves.
Company of Wolves is coming out the mouth. You know.
Right.
Again, I'll even go concept. Van Helsing, they're ripping it out until they're ripping the skin off. You know what I mean? It was CGI, but the concept is cool. Its concept is sound. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're getting for me, it's like the rubber balloon effect, which is from American Werewolf in London, where you're like, like it sounds like a rubber balloon, like when you're rubbing your fingers around it, and it's stretching, and it's all in light. That one's hard to beat, but for me it's
hard to beat. But I have a slight preference because when that came out, if you were
not my favorite
geek, exactly.
Mine's the Howling.
Right, same here. Yeah,
that one's the Howling, and I like that movie more too. It's got like a bigger world and lore, and just
it's more fun. Let me put it this way: I've watched it way more times than I have American Werewolf, and American Werewolf is very good.
Yeah,
but
they both
I like
scare
American
me.
Werewolf a lot. But
definitely.
Well, yeah, and you know the werewolf maulings, you know, especially at the climax, are fucking brutal.
Well, you know what scared me in American Werewolf in London was the one scene where he's running through the forest. He's having a dream, and he's laying in bed, and he smiles up at himself. And he's just got those big yellow teeth. And he's in a bed, you know, and the nurse is in the forest with him. That was the scariest scene for me in the whole movie as a kid. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And then the howling, the whole movie kind of scared me. You know, there's this serial killer out there that's like, as a kid, I didn't know he was like a serial rapist.
A serial killer werewolf.
Yeah,
what
and
a great, crazy idea that is.
And just seeing the rim light of his mane behind the projector lighting up, that's what scared me. When you see it shaking like that, where he's going, and you know he's wolfing out behind her in the intro. That was scary.
Really scary. To answer Pops' question, no, they wouldn't all be serial killers, because you look at Larry Talbot, right? The Wolfman. Most werewolves are reluctant, because the whole idea of the werewolf story.
But that don't
mean a good argument.
Out killing people every full moon.
It's a good argument.
It's a little bit like, oh man, that would be crazy. That was
got a good argument. I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
No, it is. It is absolutely. But this is like one of those discussions, you know, like the whole.
I mean, that doesn't mean they're
that's what we do here, though. You know,
what if you had like a
cleaning themselves up every full moon? Then they're kind of probably serial killers.
And it's like, hey, dude, you ain't gonna blow yourself away. Then you're kind of enabling the wolf.
Yeah,
that too, right? Yes. I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean, it has to be brought up. I mean, if you're letting it happen, like, I don't know, I kind of want to live, but I might fucking murder somebody.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
But that's the thing about Larry Talbot. It's the same thing with Valdemar. Is like Valdemar, we see is chaining himself up. Yeah. But he's also, fucking up and not chaining himself up.
So was Tony. Tony was doing it for like 30 years in the Wolfman, remember? And after a while, he just snapped. He had like a late life crisis. He was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go out and murder some fools. Right. And then his son comes home. The prodigal son returns. You know what I mean? And he's like, I'm gonna let you fucking go murder these fools and blame you and da-da-da-da. I love that movie. I don't give a fuck. A lot of people are hating on it, but I love it.
I enjoyed it. Like when I first saw it, I was like, you know what? I'm enjoying this way more than it deserves, and I like this much more than it deserves. But when we did it, like a few months ago, and I had watched it again for the first time in like a couple of years, that's actually a really good movie.
The director's cut is way better too, because Max von Sydow comes in there. He starts talking about the Vita of Javardin, and he's like got the cane and everything. And I don't know,
it's just way better. It's way better.
I'm that guy, like, you know, come over to my house, we have a barbecue, and like, I'm gonna slip a movie on. Like, what the fuck are you putting on? You've never seen this. A lot of people haven't seen it. It kind of went under the radar.
Oh, it really did. It really did.
That was pretty dope.
Yeah, it deserves more attention than it's gotten. But here, of course, there's a wonderful scene where Gabby Fuchs's friend comes into this room, finds this room at the castle, and there are manacles or shackles hanging from the ceiling and from the wall. And what I love is all the blood.
Yeah, and the blood in here, like when she's making the blood, like her drink the blood, like when she's doing her satanic vamp shit, you know? Because she's not just a vamp, she's a satanic vamp. You know what I mean? And the devil is present within this lore. So that was pretty crazy. And the blood is so thick. It's almost like it's stylistic. And then also at the end, when, you know, Wolfman fucks her up, the shackles, the chains, you know, they're coming unshackled and they're dropping. So you know that it has a supernatural effect other than, no matter what, it's another dimension of supernatural is whatever, supernaturality-ism. I don't know how you want to say it.
Right. Well, also remember you're talking about Spain, even though it was, like I said, supposedly a fascist country at the time, was also, you know, very Catholic. And so a lot of Spanish horror movies do have kind of like not that the Italian movies aren't also very Catholic, but you know, I think that's one of the things I really like about the Italian horror, Gothic horror films, and also a lot of the Spanish horror films, is that they kind of have that kind of they take place kind of like in a Catholic universe, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, they do. I feel that it's that like that over looming shadow of Catholicism in the background. It's something you feel. I mean, obviously they're gonna bring it to the forefront of the camera with different idols and iconography, but you can kind of feel it looming around in the background. You know,
That's because nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
No, they don't.
Nobody does.
No, they
It
don't.
has some nice cast. Ooh, look at that. That's the scene I'm talking right there. The one that she's in the hallway with all the fog coming up. And I was just thinking that one scene today. I was watching that, and I was like, dude, well, I love that stairwell right there. I love so gothic.
And this is in. I'm sorry. Go. Finish your thought, Matt.
If I ever make a movie with vampires, I'm gonna go back and reference that scene with the fog. Like anytime a vampire's on screen, there's gonna be fucking fog. There's gonna be fog. I don't know why, but they're gonna have fog, and it's got to be at least 4 feet to like
gothic.
3 feet high of fog. There's just something about it. I think vampires need to bring that fog.
Well, you know what it is. You know what it is. You're a metal guy, and gothic horror is metal as fuck. And the reason gothic horror is metal as fuck is because gothic horror is turned up to 11.
Yeah, it is.
There's nothing fucking subtle about gothic horror.
No,
it's as subtle as even when it's sort of like moody or kind of like I don't want to say slow moving, but when it's a slow burn or something like that, it's still, you can hear that backbeat, that boom, boom,
yeah,
boom,
right,
boom,
that heartbeat.
Yeah, absolutely. Stephen King talks about this
at any second.
Yeah, Stephen King talks about this. He talks about the machinery of gothic horror as being really, really loud, and he spells it in all caps. This is in Danse Macabre, his nonfiction book about horror.
Oh,
he's
cool.
like, and it's really fucking loud. But yeah, here, let's take a scene at the take a look at this. I am probably gonna have to like pause it periodically. But at the same time, this is a public domain movie, but algorithm don't know that because algorithm don't know shit.
Hail ID Crisis.
Oh, what up, ID?
Hey, dude.
Yeah, she finds Valdemar's sister, who's been bled.
Yeah, that's I like that scene a lot. It's very creative just to leave her there like that, and then it's moving too, and then the whole like I don't know how you say the metal work, the gothic metal work of the stairwell,
the filigree,
all that stuff. Yeah.
And then those cuts, to like the Sergio Leone close up of her friend. It's just, you know what it is about this movie that makes it special? It's stylish as fuck.
Yeah, I love that.
That's a decent angle.
Oh, it's beautifully made. Like I said,
I love that shot.
The previous movie that Naschy had made, the previous Valdemar movie, was, the director was a drunk who handed the rewrites to the script over to his 14-year-old nephew. So he was looking for somebody that was going to be a more reliable collaborator, but somebody also that shared his vision and his passion. Because Naschy was nothing if not passionate about horror. It's great stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just love this movie to pieces. Let's take a look also at the scene that I was talking about before, this little dream sequence that is I think
while we're waiting for you to load that up, I got a thing from the chat from ID Crisis.
What up, ID?
Mike Nichols. Best dialogue of any werewolf film. You're such a polished ass kisser. It takes my breath away. And then I put to counter that, for me I'm just marking my territory and you got in the way.
Yeah, we did that movie too. That's a dope movie as well.
Yeah, that's like number 3 for me. Like for a while it was number 1.
It's
but
great.
Now it's kind of became number 3.
So you really got off on this.
Oh, this movie? Yeah. And I watched it pretty fast. And I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch it. Once I saw the movie, I was like, oh, this is the movie from the theme. Love that shot, love that door.
Yeah, is that great?
The Gothic door. Yeah, man. And I was like, oh, this is it from the theme. Like just when she's running, down the castle wall and her gown's moving around in slow mo. It's just cool, man. Again, it's a world. It brings you into the world. I love movies that do that.
Horror. Yeah, let's get to.
That's one of my favorite scenes right here.
Oh yeah, of course. And I will definitely get to that scene I was talking about before, the dream sequence. But we also, everybody enjoys a good werewolf mauling. At least I certainly do.
Let me take a bite out of crime.
And this motherfucker, man, just gave her a fucking right cross, rapey motherfucker.
Dude. Sean Connery. He has to reset her hard drive.
I just love what he's doing with his hands there, with the claws.
And he ain't a pug either. He's like pug human. I don't know what you would call a humanoid. I don't know, type wolf, but he's still got the human nose.
Right.
So he's got his own thing, you know?
Absolutely.
Brian, for the record, I never tire of werewolves. So if we're ever stuck,
no, neither do I, brother. Neither do I. And remember, there's 12 of these movies for you to check out. Like I said, a lot of people sleep on Spanish horror. That's why I wanted to cover this movie tonight. Oof.
Ow.
Right? Like there's something
dude.
about the right?
Bro, ow, dude. What the fuck?
Right. Can you like this is just a great scene. Right? So he's just like fucking leaning into him with those claws, and there's something about it that you can feel.
Yeah, it's the sound and
And then this is the very first time this occurred, that you see something like this in horror movie history. The very first time you see a werewolf just biting a plug out of a motherfucker.
Just mauling somebody. Huh.
Well, because he's not just biting, he's tearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ripping and the tearing.
It's the blood's a little thin.
That's a good one right there.
Yeah, boy.
Remember what I said? I got a good shot right here. The actor, he's like, I'm going to put something out there you haven't seen with this shot.
Absolutely. And once again, there's a playfulness to this movie, but the playfulness is never at the expense of the story or the characters, if that makes any sense. It's like,
no, it does.
It's once again, it has a real strong sense of fun, but it's played straight because it's more fun if it's played straight. And boy, there's something you have to. I think he understood how sincere Naschy was, and how much this character meant to him. Oh, this is fucking dope right here. Let's check this out. Yeah. This chick returning to her coffin. And like moving in slow motion as if, like Vandessa, like all the vampires in this, it's like they kind of carry like they're moving around inside like this like spooky dimension. Also my favorite shot in the film in this scene. Did you see that gesture that she made with her hair? Like she was yawning. Like she's like, oh, I'm going to catch a couple of Z's. And that's when she notices him. Yeah. And this is the money shot right here.
That's a really nice shot.
This is my favorite moment in the movie right here. Isn't that fantastic? I love that shot, man. Yeah, so damn cool. Let me see if I could find that that dream sequence, because we definitely want. There we go. Yeah, this is so wonderful.
Like a baby in a high chair with a tummy full of SpaghettiOs.
Well said, sir.
Party time.
Yep. Look how happy her friend is, and the big tent peg fangs. I love.
I know.
Pegs.
Has anybody chewed on your neck lately?
Hey, Homer. Mind if I chew your ear?
No, I like the way the knife goes in, but it looks dumb coming out with no blood.
Yeah.
on
It goes. No,
Yeah, it's spring loaded.
It hurts. That shit hurt when I saw that.
Right.
Ooh. I was like, ooh.
Do you also notice that not to diss this actress, but I think deliberately they chose her to be the love interest because like she's like the least hot of all the women in this.
Yeah. Of all the humans, she's the best looking. All the living humans.
Well, it's right. But also, vampirism makes chicks hotter, as it does in the Hammer films.
It's that scene right here I was talking.
Yep. And now they're gonna dance like schoolgirls.
I told you it was party time.
Yep.
Woo!
Yep. And how they just disappear.
Yeah, it's creepy.
It's wonderful. And it's morning, and that was just a dream. Or was it? It doesn't feel like it was a dream. It feels like it was some kind of like a ghostly visitation. Poor Valdemar, after like a rough night out. He's like, come on, baby, I gotta blow off some steam sometime. Stop giving me grief. And yeah, he was just, I mean, one of those dudes that was, I think, a definite screen presence that wasn't necessarily a great actor. He wrote a lot of these movies. He directed a lot of these movies. He's, if you look him up on the Internet Movie Database, I mean, my God, he played like virtually every monster at one point or another. He went through the entire list.
There's like this one scene here with the reporter or something like that comes at him with the rubber knife. He's like, stabbing him in his chest. Like, bitch, get out of here! Like, bitch smacks him on the. He flips around and stabs himself. Got messed up.
Yeah, he sure did. Yeah, and of course, what does Valdemar want? He wants, Valdemar's basically Lawrence Talbot. He wants to die.
Yeah.
And not just die, but stay dead.
Similar in the I think that's the scene. The aristocracy, right? He has his house, and that's the guy right there. Stuck with the burden of the wolf lycanthropy.
Yep.
Get off me, bitch.
Gosh, you're strong.
Comes at him with the rubber knife. Watch.
And meanwhile, it's seriously. I mean, mind you, he's not walking around shirtless. Maybe then the guy would have thought twice about like tangling with homeboy here.
This would be a good commercial for leather. Leather.
Yeah, it would.
It gets the job done.
Yeah, man. It's just like that little motherfucker. I could take him. It's like, yeah, that little motherfucker was like a fucking power lifter. They'll cut you off at the knees, son. Right. He's
correct.
Right. He wants to kill him because, of course, Valdemar killed his sister, his wife. I forget. But he knows that he's a werewolf. Or does he know that he's no? That's right. He doesn't know that he's a werewolf, but he somehow just knows it's not him.
Psych.
Right. And once again, the supernatural thing.
Oh,
right?
It landed on the knife.
Oh, okay. Now. Oh man.
Man, that knife's way longer.
That reminds me of like the opening singing in Porky's.
The leather.
He fucked up and found out is what happened. Poor Valdemar at first. It's just like he's just kind of like, yeah, that's right. You can't kill me, Butch. And he's like, oh, that's right. You can't kill me.
He's like the 1970s Spanish Lawrence Talbot, bro.
That's exactly what he is in these movies. And like I said, there's a whole bunch of these. Wow. Night of the Werewolf, I would definitely recommend. There's the werewolf. There's the Werewolf versus the Yeti.
Oh wow.
Which is on YouTube. Which is on Tubi right now. And I think it's actually a good copy. A lot of people will say that that's their favorite. Beast and the Magic Sword. I mean, I think everybody has everybody who's a fan of Spanish horror, everybody who's like a Paul Naschy fan has their favorites. But when you get to like people's top 10 lists, this somehow always manages to end up on in the top spot.
She looks happy.
Ecstatic.
Was that Ozzy?
Damn,
What?
the stream's
No.
down, dude.
Is it?
Yeah,
God
let me
damn it,
refresh.
man.
It'll come back up.
No, I know. It's just, God damn it, this movie's in fucking public domain. God damn it. Hate it when that shit happens.
Maybe,
We should probably wrap up anyway. But what should we
Can we
watch
do this on Rumble, or is that not a thing?
on Rumble?
Yeah.
I don't. Well, I mean, technically
I'm not
we're
paying for
operating.
Rumble until they have a bigger audience.
It costs money.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
God damn
To live stream is just like StreamYard. If you want any decent platform, you got to pay for it.
Wow,
Yeah.
motherfuckers, man. God damn it.
What?
Well,
You're not down on my channels.
Okay. All right. So, anyway, everybody that's in the chat, thank you so much for hanging out. We do appreciate you greatly. Smash that like button and the subscribe, and ring a ding ding dong the bell. And before we step out, let's talk about everybody's stuff. Matt, where can people find you, our sexy ass?
You guys can find me on Twitter, on the Twitters at Runecutter Comic, or if you guys want, you can check out my YouTube channel. It's Metal Movies and Brewskis, where I review metal movies and brewskis and comics, and sometimes I do little interviews with people that make comics. So, thanks, Brian.
They just kicked this on
got
YouTube.
it, brother.
They just kicked this on YouTube, Brian. We're still on Facebook and Twitter and everything else.
Okay, all right, that's cool. That's cool. Pop, where can these fine folks find you?
Right here. Every week, right here, and all over the place. Look, we're everywhere. You don't have to look hard. You don't have to look far. Madness.
The madness, and madness might be coming to a town near you sometime soon.
That's right.
You never know. Madness is going to hit the road soon.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff, what did Dilio? Tell these fine folks where they can find you.
I'm on YouTube at Kit Bash Federation, where I put together models out of lost things and found things and broken things, and I'm on Twitter at jeffriestube.com with the original spelling Geoff. Please do not say Geoffrey; it offends me. And then I think that's it.
Don't tell them that. Don't tell them that. They're going to start using that as a weapon.
I know it's always fifth grade. It's never not fifth grade.
The adult world is a lie that they sell you.
Yeah, no, we're all just big kids. We're all just big kids.
Yeah, and
Changing the rules as we go.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you were talking about broken toys, because it's actually a little quote from Mr. Naschy / Molina. Let me find it right here. He said, right. Well, one quote is, he said, through fantasy, we can convey a far deeper message than would appear possible at first sight. But let me find the broken toy comment, because I think it's very illustrative of the kind of guy that he was. He said, marginal characters have always held an appeal for me. The same kind of appeal you find with broken toys. I can readily identify with them. I've felt like a broken toy myself. So there it is, folks. Don't sleep on Spanish horror. There is some really great stuff out there, and it is more accessible now than it's ever been before. A lot of these movies, tonight's film, Werewolf versus the Vampire Woman, you can find this free on the YouTubes by clicking on the link below. And if you like it, there's a 4K Blu-ray that just came out. Chris's time is coming around.
Yeah.
Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. But as soon as I get my disbursement from Indiegogo, yes, people.
Yeah,
I'm going to be spending your money on the 4K Blu-ray of this, and I've got a campaign myself on the Indiegogos for Six Gun Gorilla, Volume 2 trade paperback, The Great Silence. Go check that out for sure, and also, I should really quickly mention The Last Thanksgiving, which we were taking a look at before. Pops dropped the link in the chat. Like I said, they're maybe about $1,500 away from their very modest $2,000 goal. If you can't
film, that's not a comic book. That's a film. They're trying to get the funding for a film.
For moving
pictures.
Absolutely. The scene is branching out, going multimedia for sure.
Oh, jeez.
All right. What should we watch next week? Next on Thursday, of course, we're doing Frogs. But any suggestions for
for next? You got anything in mind or what?
No, I'm like Dane Bramage right now. I can barely talk.
Do you want to? What do you feel?
If I can get Margene, you got to get Sim, and we'll do.
Yes.
Carpenter's Vampire.
Yes, we do need to do that, and Sim needs to not take another nap. But he was pissed. He was like, "Oh, god damn it, man!" Because boy, he loves himself some John Carpenter's Vampire. And that's another John Carpenter movie that's aged really well, and that just now is starting to get the love that it's always deserved.
Attraction.
And we can get somebody who was actually in
the fucking movie. Can tell us how much cocaine Daniel Baldwin was like.
Ooh, nice. I gotta be there for that one. I like that movie.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Fucking metal. I love that motel scene.
That was the other thing too. When Carpenter made that, he was deliberately trying to rustle some PC jimmies in a major way. I remember somebody, a friend of mine, telling me, "Oh, you're gonna love it. It's super anti-PC. It's deliberately this mean."
I just finished Body Bags with his thing on. It's funny seeing Tobe Hooper on there and a bunch of just random cats popping up in there.
Yes. Yeah. What did you think of Body Bags?
I thought it was all right. I like the first episode the most with David Carradine, Richard Carradine, from Revenge of the Nerds. He's like a serial killer, and he's going after the lady in the gas station. I like that one the most. And then the werewolf from American Werewolf in London. I forgot David. He's David in there trying to save her. David Naughton is the protagonist in some of the parts, and then. I forgot about the second.
Each one with the stupid fucking snake.
The stupid fucking hair. I don't know. I like Stacy Keach. He was supposed to play my grandpa in a movie.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, he looked exactly like my grandpa too. He looked just like him. But just seeing him in there. I'd never seen him. Seeing him in these funny roles is hilarious. Was it Up in Smoke or Nice Dreams? He's smoking the fucking herb.
Yes.
Yeah. And pizza.
I never seen him.
Mr. Big is Bud Good. He was Sergeant Stadenko.
Yep.
Yeah. He's in actually Up in Smoke and not Nice Dreams. Next movie, right?
Yeah.
Because because then he just turns into a pothead, and then he starts smoking the weed that turns him into an iguana.
That's the one. Yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah. I like the chonks.
Mr. Big.
Oh, without a doubt. All right, folks.
No, man.
Well, if I was going to pick one, I think I suggested Slither last time, but I'm not sure if that hits all the marks. You guys seem to go more towards the classic.
Well, not so much the classic, but the stuff that's been slept on. Stuff that in other words, I wouldn't want to do a James Gunn movie. I wouldn't want to do Slither because it's a James Gunn movie. So that's I like to kind of bring attention to like stuff that people normally wouldn't like stumble across.
It's
And
kind
now,
of an indie thing.
exactly,
It's
absolutely,
kind of an indie thing.
absolutely, without a doubt.
Across the board, not just.
I want to throw one out there. Hatchet. I know that a lot of people know about that one, but there's part one's on there, but I don't know. I like them all, but I like that first. Right. I like them all, but I really like that one.
I'm down with Hatchet anytime. My boy Andrew does art for Hatchet.
Oh, no shit. I've been meaning to collect that series forever. Dude, it's American mythology.
I got Hatchet art right here on my wall, man.
So
I
Brian,
still haven't seen Victor Crusher.
Right here.
I like them all. I like them all. I like the character. I like Kane Hodder. I like the old. I've been meaning to buy them comics. I like how they pay homage to all the slasher dudes. You know, they're in there.
Oh, you know what?
Whenever you're down, me and Pops are down with the Hatchet. So just know that's your ace in the hole. Whenever you're fuck, I need to think of something. Hatchet, bro.
You want to make it official? Because well,
let's make it official on Thursday.
Okay.
And actually, you know what? There's Adam Green did another movie that I think people have really slept on, which is called Digging Narrow.
Yeah, that's the one I slept on. I need to watch that.
That's because I think and it's on Tubi too. So yeah, maybe we'll do that one. Because also that's like the monsters in that are
check this out, man.
Oh, really? There's monsters in there? Okay.
Oh, it's all about it's a mockumentary, right? Kane Hodder is in there playing himself.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
And whoa.
There's some Hatchet art for you right there.
I'm gonna draw Hatchet one of these days.
That's fucking sweet.
Because Crawley, he came out of nowhere, out in the swamp, dude, when everybody was gone, bro. And there was a time period like in the aughts where there was nothing there, and it's still kind of there. And not all the movies are as good as all of them. Like some of them are better than others, is what I'm saying. But he fulfilled that slasher void where that character, Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers, and for me, I'll watch the Hatchet movies over a lot of the last Jason movies and Michael Myers movies.
Oh yeah,
there's a lot more TLC put into him, and he's a
without a doubt. Oh yeah. Like I said, I've only seen the first two, but I enjoyed both of those thoroughly. And there's 4 entirely.
They're the best, but they're all fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you know how the Jason movies kind of fly off the handles, and they get and like by like the 3rd or 4th or 5th or 6th movie, they're kind of like, what the fuck? This one, it's like by the 3rd or 4th movie, you're like, but it's still dope. You know?
Right? Yeah.
It's still better in my opinion.
It's like you've gone to the well, like many times before, but I know what you mean. It's like McDonald's. Well, I don't want to say McDonald's because McDonald's is nasty, but it's
they
kind
pissed
of
me off the other day. They pissed me off. I went there. I wanted to get my McRib. I went there for my McRib. Like, sorry, sir, we don't have the McRib. I'm like, you don't like tonight, or you're not gonna have McRib?
Say what?
And he's like, no, like indefinitely, we're not gonna have it no more. I'm like, well, there's a big fucking sign out there that says McRib is back. So what are we doing here? What are we doing here? And I'm sitting in the drive-thru, like, what are we doing here? They
like,
I don't know. I'm like, all right,
that's fucking cold-blooded.
Give me my McNuggets and give my 40 McNuggets and my fucking 2 extra large fries and my
you guys know the McDonald's broke the death cycle, right?
I want my prefabricated pork chop that looks like a railroad stuck in a metal mold. That's what I want. The sauce drizzled on top. Give me that, but they don't want to do it.
You know that food doesn't burn.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? Now, this is a total non sequitur, but we're
forever.
But we're all about non sequiturs. Did you guys ever see like the when there was that movie Super Size Me? There were special features that had that I thought like there was one thing that should have been in the movie that wasn't in the movie because to me it was the one thing that left my fucking jaw on the floor. Was the guy Morgan Spurlock? He took like a burger and fries from McDonald's, a burger and fries from like I think Wendy's or some other thing like that, and one from like a local deli down the street. Right?
Yeah. Right.
And he put them like in like
under glass or something,
under
like
glass,
containers,
right? Like in aquariums, and just left them there to hang out and just watch how they like broke down and decayed.
Yeah.
And naturally, the fucking McDonald's thing was like there the longest.
Yeah, I don't know if you'd say naturally,
but here was the fucked up part. Here was the fucked up part. The burger, when the burger was all fucked up, the fries were still pristine.
Yeah. And they got the best fries. McDonald's has the best fries. I'll put their fries over
that was
anybody.
the safe thing.
That's what the drugs and the oil are making you say that, Matt.
What's that?
You always
used
thought
to have
that
the
was
best
the one
fries.
safe thing that you could get at McDonald's was the fucking
Oh, the
fries.
fries.
Yeah,
Turns
yeah.
out that's
The
the
oil,
one thing.
the drugs and the oil are making you say
when
that,
they
Matt.
changed the oil, they
Probably.
ain't good no more. They used to be the best thing in McDonald's. Now they're
No,
just
they're still
meh.
good. They're not as good, but
I
they still fuck everybody up.
I
Meh.
think the oil isn't the oil the same stuff that they have in Russia. Like, isn't that like, is it Lenin's body?
It's radioactive. It's some Ninja Turtle goo and that shit.
Yeah.
Fucking, give me that shit.
It's just there.
It's just there. But I mean, I would prefer a mom and pop restaurant more than McDonald's. Like, there's a few around here that have been around here for like 70 years or something. A lot of diners, you know, pastrami joints. I'm talking. You know, you go there and like give me those big old fries with the seasoning on top. I'm gonna go there. But a lot of times they open and close on weird days. Close on Tuesdays. I'm gonna drive through. I'm like ready for the horror movie club. Where's my fucking fried chicken dinner and my burgers and fries? And I look, we're closed. Oh, it's flooded. Oh, I better get out of here. You know?
Yeah.
Go to McDonald's, but
Oh, I hear you, brother. All right, folks.
Hatchet.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Maybe.
Yeah, so maybe. Listen. We'll talk about it. We'll discuss it.
Hey, I'll see if I can get Andrew out here, the guy who drew
Dude.
Oh, that
Let's do that.
dude.
Let's do that instead. I'd much rather do that.
Yes.
I'll see if I can get Andrew out here next week.
I want to get some of those books too. To be honest with you.
But we got to do the movie too.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Done deal. Done deal. All right. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. We really do appreciate you. And we will see you next week. And what can I say other than peace, love,
Be well.